is Rashid Loguniron, and it's a privilege to be the one to be moderating this session. So regarding from where you are joining from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So last week we started months ago when we started with introduction to Microsoft Fabric. It's no longer news that Microsoft have come up with a new product, the Microsoft Fabric, where they are bringing all experiences that are not together before. You know, where you see data engineering, Power BI, data science, data activator, data factory, and real-time analytics. All those experiences that I've mentioned, they are not always together before, but now they are together on the same platform. And so that is what we are driving, because that's the future of work for we data analysts. So we started with introduction to Microsoft Fabric, which one of our amazing speakers spoke on, Mr. Popola. He dealt with it, and followed by we look at, so based on the popular demand, you know, based on a whole lot of people want to know about Power. That's why we decide to start with Power BI. For the first 4 weeks in February, we want to deal with Power BI. So first week of February, we looked at data cleaning, data transformation, and Gloria Ibiakama dealt with that for us. And by the second week, we looked at DAX and data modeling, which I'm privileged to speak on. So today, we shall be looking at another topic, which is data visualization and reporting. And so I'm privileged to have one of our big brother, our amazing speaker, Mr. Seyi Akinjimi. Seyi, I will quickly read his profile. So Seyi Akinjimi is a data consultant, a Microsoft certified trainer. He's a multi-skilled professional with a strong passion for data and technology, and believes in using them to solve real-world business problems. So he strongly believes in intersection of solution and technology, and constantly explores and prototypes of new ideas. So he's very interested in helping businesses and brand leverage data at the right question, uncover hidden insights, and drive decisions backed by data. He holds a master's in information management from Ahmadu University, alongside other professionals, including the Microsoft Certified Power BI and Azure Data Engineering certification. He has a vast technical expertise in business performance analysis and data analytics, customer analysis, sales analysis, etc., business requirement development, report development cycle, and KPI scorecard development, as well as performing extensive data pipeline development. He has worked with brands like Accenture, Sterling PLC, Ramby, Clark Energy, and Veraki Partners. He is currently volunteer as a data analytics trainer at Daisy Tech Limited, where he teaches data analytics using Power BI, as he enjoys sharing his knowledge and skills with others who are interested in learning more about data. And likewise, eager to take on new challenges and collaborate with others who share his vision of using data for good. Beyond this professional experience, Seyi, in his personal space, is a lover of music. He gets his creative juice flowing for long hours by listening to a genre music, and he's also played drums. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to welcome our amazing speaker for today, in person of Mr. Seyi Akinjimi. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very, very much
take the stage.
Thank you very, very for the introduction. You know, I really do appreciate you making out time to come here, and then not only that, but giving me this avenue to get to talk about data visualization and reporting generally. So and do sessions like this, I usually would want to know more about my audience. And then when I say want to know, I want to know the level, how well they've worked with data. Are they new guys? Are they just willing to upskill? just willing to, are they just getting to use Power BI for the first time? Stuff like that. Because it would also help me in looking at how to well structure. Although I already have a template, I have my template designed already, and then my dev, right? But then just to have much more personal touch to our engagements. Understand? So just a minute, permit me to share my screen now. Let me see. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Not yet. Okay, it uploaded. I can see your screen now.
Okay. So is it in presentation mode now?
Hold on. Yeah, it's on a presentation mode now.
Yeah. So as I've been informed, I know that you've gone through some level of interactions and sessions before now, and then you've done the introduction. You've gone through the introduction, you've gone through DAX as well, you've gone through data modeling, and a bit of what I'm also going to be touching here. So it's more or less like building on what you've already, the sessions that you've already had before, and then building on the knowledge you already have about Power BI for now. So this is just the 4 core areas I'll be talking about, creating visualizations with Power BI, building compelling visualizations, and then design user-friendly reports, and then creative interactive reports for data exploration. And all of these is just centered around giving our stakeholders or users a very good feel, right? So a whole lot of your experience on the job, you would be interfacing with different people, and then to cut across different level of data of an organization, right? Even as small as your peers in the office, or that you share the same office, right? So Power BI is a very, very powerful tool. And then if you look at the Gantt charts for business intelligence tool, you know that Power BI currently tops that ranking. And then we also have contenders in that same space. You have Google also contending with Power BI. You have the likes of SAP. SAP has quite a number of BI tools that's also in that place, working in that space. You have SAP Analytics Cloud, SAP DataSphere. But our function now, our main focus is Power BI. Why? Because there is hardly an organization you go to right now that does not have 1 or 2 Microsoft products that they use, right? And then what Microsoft has done so far is to look at the value chain end to end, right? Integrate all of its products, right? So if you're probably using Power BI, the ERP side of Microsoft, when you're looking at the Dynamics 365 or Dynamics Nav or Business Central now, Dynamics Nav is now Business Central. If you look at all of those ERPs, you can now see that you can pull data from those ERP and then analyze. So Microsoft has made it so simple such that all of its products end to end, you can easily integrate your data in one place and then find it quite very, very easy to do your analytics and then generate insights, right? So you've made the right decision to want to take on using Power BI to do your analytics. So these are the main focal points, but then we'll be going deeper into all of this content to show you how well you can leverage Power BI and then its features and functions to drive analytics for your customers or stakeholders, as the case may be. So these are for this first line, we'll be looking at the learning objective of the course, which I just touched on briefly now. And then we'll talk about importance of data visualization for BI, and then your main stakeholders as BI analysts, and as well when data visualization is useful and then when it is not. right? At every point in time,
Hello, Mr. Shea. Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, we lost that at the point. So
Okay.
the last word is at every point in time. So
Okay, so at every point in time, right, you come across data in general, you come across different array of data. Now the buzzword is big data now, right? And then you begin to look at, okay, how do I make meaning of this data? We are running the business, we are not making profit, right? We
you may
have quite a
position.
lot of customers, we're making.
Hello, sir. You may position the camera. Okay, I think it's better now. We can't see your face very well before.
Okay. So, and then
It's
you have
better.
you have a lot of customers, there's a lot of activities going on in your business, but you can't just make meaning of it. It is not shown in the bottom line, right? And they begin to wonder, are we going in the right direction? Is our business optimized enough? Are we making full use of the resources that we have in terms of human resource, and then, of course, physical and technological resources that we have deployed for the business? That is when data analytics comes into place. And then analytics is very, very wild, basically. The data analytics cuts across almost the value chain of that Rashid mentioned earlier on, from data engineering to visualization to data science, right? All of that is under the umbrella of data analytics in general. So when I talk about visualization, now visualization is that now you bringing data now to the doorstep of your stakeholders, right? Now making data very, very compact and such that they can easily glean, have an overview of what is going on around them, right? Of what is going on around them. And if you, as data pioneers, if you would agree with me, in almost all organizations now, you have a lot of manual processes going on, a lot of Excel sheets, a lot of, manual, in fact, not even Excel sheet alone now, you even have Microsoft Word. You see people running with the reports using Microsoft Word as well. Yes, we have seen very, very well. No, as data consultants, we see quite a lot. We see a lot of, a lot of things when we consult for businesses, and then you just be wowed at, so this is happening, you know. So, why is data visualization important? Basically, just to make business decisions easy for management, for stakeholders, for their users, all right? Instead of having to run through different and large array of rows and columns, tables, doing manual imputations, right? Visualization makes it much more easy for the business to make decisions, right? And basically, who are your stakeholders as a BI analyst? Who do you interact with? You interact with different array of persons across an organization that has to do with data. Either we have the data curators, we have the data admin, we have those that are in charge of the data stewards. Basically, you would interact with product managers, you will interact with, just name it, product owners, people managing a product that would want to, draw insight from that product, know how well that product is doing. So you're going to interact with all these kind of people, management guys, just name it, right? You're going to interact with them. So they are your stakeholders, right? No matter how small they are in the value chain, they are your stakeholders. They are people that you are going to interact with every now and then. So if you and then how well your conversation or how smooth your relationship is with them also goes a long way to determine how successful your data project would also be. Are you with me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, all right. I wanted to be sure that I'm still quite audible.
You are very, very audible.
So and then I know basically that's just like the introduction basically, and then we are going to go a bit further now and then begin to dig deep. So we thought I didn't touch on when data visualization is useful or when it is not. You know, if you are a good spreadsheet lover, you know, you work with a lot of spreadsheets, you will know that with the way the world is going right now, there is an exponential expansion of data and knowledge, right? Visualization basically is the representation of data in charts, graphs, you know, and other visual formats, basically. And if you work with a lot of spreadsheet data, you see that visualization is going to be very, very, very useful for you, right? It is very, very easy to confuse people with data visualization, and at the same time, it is very, very easy for you to help them make good decisions, right? So at that point in time when visualizations are not useful, right? And then visualizations are not useful if the data or if your report, you know, misleads your stakeholders. Let me use that word. When your charts are misleading, when your reports are misleading, at that point, they are not useful, right? I'm sure you would have come across, I would have liked to share example, but I didn't add them to my slide. You would have come across charts, you know, especially when you are subscribed to some visualization, some analytics, you know, newsletters, and then you would have come across some charts whereby you see your you see a lot of truncated axis. Let me use that word. You know, you have the x-axis and the y-axis, and then you have a lot of truncated axis, such that those truncated axes, normally, if you're working with x and y-axis, they should start, the baseline should be from 0, right? You see some truncated axis starting from maybe 10, maybe 15, 11, such that your data is now skewed, all because you are trying to mislead the audience, or better still, you are trying to push a narrative. At that point in time, visualization is not necessary, because at that point, because you are misleading the crowd, or you're misleading whoever comes across that content that you will be sharing. All right, and a lot more of so many misconceptions, right? Now, we're talking about building compelling data visualization. This is just another arm, all right? You know, it is very, very important that after this session, we'll go hands-on in full. You know, at times, you know, when you want to build visualizations, most people just go get data and then they dive into building visuals, you know, just because the visual is very, very enticing, right? It doesn't work that way. You know, when you want to build visualization, it is very, very important for you to identify the business metrics and then pair it with the appropriate data visualization. You know, before you start a report, the first thing is to sit down with your stakeholders, right? Understand their day-to-day activities end to end. I usually want to understand how their activities are, because at times stakeholders will come to you and they will tell you what this is what we want. Meanwhile, that is not what they want in particular, right? They just do not know how to communicate what they want to you. So at times it's best for you to sit down, understand the activities end to end, and then refine what their request or what their requirement is, right? Because at times when they come to you, they tell you, this is what we want. This is what we want, When you're done with it and you send it back to them, they tell you, no, this is not what we want. We want it this way. You go back, you do it, you send back to them, they tell you, no, we want it this way. So you see that there's a lot of back and forth, right? And then you end up, extending your project duration beyond the normal time it's supposed to take for you to finish it, right? So in the course of today's interaction and session, we'll be looking at identifying important business metrics and pairing with appropriate data visualization. We're going to build common data visuals using bar charts and line charts, design complementary ones using cards, donut charts and tables, and look at how they all fit into how a suite report should look like. Looking at how to build complex visuals, and then looking at the different formatting options that we have in Microsoft Power BI. So this is just the first part of it, and then we are going to go into go hands-on now, right? So that we don't waste too much time talking. So permit me now to stop sharing this slide. I'll come back to this slide later on anyway, and then go hands-on, because I want it to be very, very hands-on, and then so that I can pass the right message across. So I will be sharing my I think there's noise coming from somewhere. I don't know. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Please let's mute our mic if we are not speaking. I will mute mine also.
So this is my. Just confirm you can see my Power BI. Can you see my report canvas?
I can see your Power
we can see
BI.
it.
I can see it.
Okay. So basically, I'm working with an Excel file, an Excel workbook. So let me just share with you the Excel workbook as well, so that you can see. Let me share the Excel workbook. You can see how it looks like. Just a minute. Yeah. So this is the Excel workbook. This is how the Excel workbook is, right? This is how it is. You have just basic sales transactions. These are readily available data out there. So this is just a sales transaction table, typical sales transactions, and then you have the dates, customer, product, subcategory, product category, state, country, and then you have the dimension. This is the fact table. You have the dimension. I know you've spoken about data modeling, so fact and dimension should not be alien to us. We have the gender, country, product category, subcategory. I already created the dimensions already for us. So likewise, I have imported this into Power BI. Someone is raising his hand. Sadiq, you can raise your hand. You can talk. Sadiq, you're raising your hand.
I could not see your screen. That's why I'm raising my hand. But it's showing now.
Can you see it now? Okay.
Yes.
So
but
now
we don't have the Power BI file, sir.
Okay. I don't know if Anna can share the Power BI file. Dimension. Sorry. Okay. So we have the star schema now. Right. This is a star schema. We have a sales transaction here. We have a star schema here already. So let's just go into report view generally. So this is we have our sales data, just like I showed you earlier on. Right. This is our sales data. One thing you would always do before you start any visualization, right, is to first of all ask relevant questions. This is the sales transactions. Now, the relevant questions that you ask is going to drive whatsoever analytics you want to do. Because from this data that we have here, we can do tons and tons and tons of analytics, right? And at the end, the analytics will not make any meaning to the business because it is not what they want, right? So what we do first is to first ask questions. Ask our stakeholders what they want, right? So at this point now, we are the stakeholders, right? And then based on this now, I want to ask us questions because it's going to be an interactive question, an interactive class or session. So this is a sales data now. What and what do you think we can glean out of this? We have our revenue, we have our cost, we have our profit, we have the unit price, unit cost, order quantity, right? We have it across countries, product categories, and then subcategories. So now, let somebody volunteer now and tell us what kind of analysis, what do they want to see in an ideal analysis or report. So we're going to build on that. Right? So who's going to help us with that? So who's going to help us?
Don't know. It's actually
Okay. Yeah, with
Hello.
you.
okay.
Hello,
Okay,
Let's see the
okay. So Mr.
apology.
Adefemi Akinribide says he would like to. Hello, Mr. Sheikh, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now, yes.
Yeah. I said somebody's okay. Sadiq is raising up his hand. Sadiq, let's hear you.
Okay.
Hello, Sadiq. You are muted if you are talking.
Okay. Okay, now, good afternoon. What I can see having to say, like it's a product, a sales data set, talking
Yes.
about the product, the quantity, the price per unit, and the likes. I just probably want to get what particular quantity at product actually goes faster, that is request for more demand, and then what type of gender actually requests for a particular product, and then
So we're looking at quantity, we're looking at product, we're looking at what again?
yes,
Revenue, right?
yes, the category of products, yes, category of products, and then the country that actually requests for more of these products than the other, and then the likes like
Okay.
that or something.
That's fine. I've done well. So
Okay.
this is so we have product, right? We're looking at the product. Now, if you're looking at product, now we're looking at product count, right? We're looking at product count, right? We'll also be looking at the revenue across product, right? Looking at the revenue, looking at the profit. We'll also be looking at the cost of all our products, right? So we now want to break it down across different categories, subcategories, and then countries. So one thing I do is to first ask myself questions, right? Like we already started now. We're looking at products now. We're looking at how many products, how many products did we sell across different categories and across different subcategories, and of course across countries, right? All of this can be further broken down into different questions, and then that will now inform us on the kind of DAX measures or DAX queries that we should write. So let's go back now and then begin to build on what we need to do now. So let me go back to my report canvas now. I'll quickly do this so that we don't waste our time. Metrics now, we want to write measures for the total count, right? Total product count. Product. Right. Okay. Oh, somebody is.
Hello, Sadiq. Can you please drop down your hand? Your hand is still up.
Somebody is okay. I can see feedback coming from there. So we can see that we have products now, right? Generally, we can drag this down and then we can see the total product count that we have. We have a total of 130 products for the business, right? This is 130 products for the business in general, right? If you drop only this like this and share with your stakeholders, this is a report on its own. Do you know? A stakeholder can just come and ask you that. I just want to know the total number of products that we have. You might think it is very, very funny, but you have crazy requests like that. This is the total products that we have right now, right? And then we can break this down into different visuals, right? Let me control V, control paste, right? Here now. We spoke about the category count across the categories. If I drop this product category on this visual, right? Microsoft Power BI has IntelliSense, and it will by default choose a visual for me that it thinks befits what I'm trying to build, right? We have these are the across all our products, right? These are the different categories that they fall into, right? We have bikes for this, and then we have for our country, we have this, right? And for what else again? If you break it down by gender, we have this. And then if we break it down by subcategory, right? Subcategory, we have this. By default, right, this can itself be a report, right? Depending on how you can fine tune this guy that you have here now, right? We can just call this breakdown, product breakdown, right? This is by itself a report on its own. For product analytics, Power BI goes beyond this. There's a number of different features that we can add to fine tune this report as we have it here, right? Just to move on very swift. We'll go on to add additional measures. We have products already. We'll go on and add other measures now. I want to add revenue. total revenue. Revenue. Total revenue, transaction, sales revenue, total revenue, right? We have total revenue, we have the total what, and then we have the total cost. And we have the total cost. Total cost, reduction cost, right? We'll leave it at this. Leave it at this. Right. So let's look at cost and revenue and then number of products. Let's leave it at that. So now when we sit down and then begin to ask ourselves questions, right? Right, we can now begin to flesh out all of these reports. Right. So we mentioned that we want to build common data visual using bar chart and line chart, right? These are the different, let me introduce you to the different visuals that you have. These are the different visuals that you have in Power BI. Power BI has an array of visuals, and this is not limited to this. We have the Power BI marketplace where you see more core visuals that you can play around depending on your use case, right? There are some use cases for your visualization that you cannot, the visuals that you have there cannot implement what you have in mind. Basically, it cannot implement what you have in mind. Then when you go to the marketplace, you can see visuals. Some are paid and some are not paid. But be very, very careful when you use visuals from the marketplace. Make sure that those visuals are certified by Microsoft first before you use them. And then if the visuals are still in the preview phase, make sure you don't use them for production reports. There's what we call production reports and then development reports, right? Development reports are the reports that you are just building, and then it is still going it is still undergoing development, and then UAT. UAT means user acceptability test. You know, the users or the stakeholders have not confirmed that they are fine with it. At that point, at the dev stage, you can use different visuals, right? But in production, you can only use, the advice is that you only use visuals that are already certified, right? Such that so that you don't have issues when you finally publish. So these are all the visuals that you have. Here you have stacked bar chart, you have column charts, right? Let me bring them in here. You have this. You have this. This is how they look like. You have this is your clustered column chart as well. This is your clustered column chart. Right. Right. You have your, this is your line chart. Right. This is your line chart. This, you would most likely use this when you are doing time intelligence related related analysis, and we'll touch that a bit, because this is donut chart, right? And this is pie chart. This is pie chart. You know, going by industry standard, we would always advise that you don't use a pie chart. I personally, for me, I don't like pie chart anyway. I prefer my donut chart to pie chart. And then you have this card visual. This is your card visual. We have seen card visuals today already. That was the first visual that we used today, right? So this is it, right? So all of this down, they all have usefulness, and they all have a role that they play, right? And these are the most common ones that you would see. These are the most common visuals that you would see, right? You have the tables. This is a table visual. And of course, you have the matrix visual as well. And then an array of other visuals that you can use. You have the key influencers. You have the composition trees. I wish I could touch on that today, but let me just move fast so we don't waste much time. So these are all of the visuals that you have here. And all of these visuals, they have the kind of analysis that you can do with them based on the type of data that you have, right? Based on the type of data that you have. So the type of data that you have would most likely determine the kind of visual that you're also going to use. And then the kind of analysis you want to do would also determine the kind of visuals that you want to use. Now, let's take, for example, now, if we have, I'll start from this. So this is our stacked bar chart, right? I'll start from our bar chart. So for our bar chart now, I want to see, let us say we want the revenue now, total revenue, right? We want to see revenues across different countries, right? These countries, right? This is our bar chart, right? Look at the way it has broken this down for us, right? Can see what you have here. Which means that at a glance, let me just rearrange this. At a glance, you can tell, at a glance like this, you can tell that most of our revenue is coming from United States, right? Followed by Australia, followed by United Kingdom, Germany, France, and Canada, right? At a glance. This is the visual on its own. Whoever is looking at this can already make a decision and say that, okay, I think most of our revenue is coming from our United States now. I think we need to begin to look deep dive into United States and then see what products are contributing to all of this, right? Or let us see who let us see the gender that is contributing to all of this revenue from the different countries. That is when you can now begin to add this you can now begin to add more items to your visual to flesh it out, right? You can start to say gender here, drop it as a legend, right? Dropping this as a legend, you can see what we have now, right? Are you with me? Let me make this very, let me make this very bold so you can begin to make meaning of this. You can see that at a glance, you can see that this is a breakdown of revenue by country. No, but you're not throwing more light into it to show that you want to see how it is the revenue is being generated along the gender lines, right? Are you with me? So you can come down here and then begin to style your report well, and then maybe throwing data labels to have it more glary, and then you can see what we have here. You can see that for US, male customers contributed more to our revenue than our female customers, right? Meanwhile, for Australia, our female customers contributed more towards our revenue line than our male customers, right? You can see this. And then you can now begin to drill down more, depending on how you want it, how you understand. Depending on how you want this report now, you can begin to add more features to now look at how this is faring alongside, this is our report now. We can look at how this is faring alongside, let us look at products category now. Now we have what we call small multiples, right? This is a feature of stack bar charts. These are small multiples, breaking it down into different categories, to different business categories. Now you can see for accessories, right? For accessories, if you look at Australia, I think Australia is doing more in terms of accessories than no Australia. United States is doing more now, and you can see that along that line we have more males doing more than the females now. So are we still together?
Yes, we are together.
Okay. So you can see that in, yes, I'm with you. So you can see that with just these few metrics, we've been able to flesh out something from our reports, right? You can see how sweet the report is coming. But then we don't need all of this now. I just needed to tell you how you come up with all of this. So you can see now, this is our bar chart now. You can see what we've done with our bar charts and then how we've added so many components to it and then it's making meaning. So you will do the same thing too for other visuals. You can change this your visual to this, right? This is your column chart, stacked column chart. Depending on what you want and how you want your visual to be, you can change it. It is now in this format, right? You can choose it to be something else, right? This is clustered bar chart. You can even have it 100% stack charts in this way. So these are visualizations, and then all you need to do is to just keep exploring, right? So let's move further now. So now our basic focus is going to be along the cost, revenue, and then the product count, right? So now that we've spoken about this, we say we want to see our product count, product revenue, profit, and the cost across all of these categories, subcategories, and countries. So I'm trying to beat time. So we've been able to talk about the bar chart, and of course, you can explore other visuals as well. So I'll take us further into designing complementary visuals like the card visuals, donut charts, and then the tables, right? So now that we have this I think it is time for me to introduce the time intelligence functions that will most likely might come across. Let me create a date table for us. I need a new table. A new table now. I need a date table. And were you guys exposed to time intelligence functions?
No, not for me.
We touched it last week.
Okay. So we have time intelligence functions that helps to make time related calculation or analysis. Because currently we cannot do time related analysis, although we have a date table, right? But although we have a date column, but it is always advisable for you to have such that you can have it broken down into different granularity, depending on how flexible you want your report to be. Let me just create a date table now. I'll use Calendar Auto. So what Calendar Auto does is that it iterates over your data model and picks the first date and the last date in your data model, right? So we've created a date table now, and then we have this. This is a date table. That means from our model, we have our first date is in 2011, and most likely our last date in that model is when is in 2013, right? Let me just format this. I want it in date format. I don't want date time. I want it in this day, month, year. I want it this way. So I'm just going to create three additional columns. Let me say new columns. I need the year column. Year column because there's a format function that's like this. I need year. We need months, right? We need year, quarter, and month. at the month number, right? Was then I need my fonts. I need my months. Now, of course, format graphics. Page. How many of you did MMM? Yeah. Yeah, this is short month MMM. If you want the full month, so I usually like to have short month and of course my full month because there are some analysis that depending on my real estate, right? What do I mean by real estate? I mean that my report canvas, depending on how many metrics I want to include in my report, right? I might not have that space enough to be able to use the full month. So I drop it down to, I use the short month. So for the full month, you had 4 M's. For the short month, you had 3 M's. Full month, grab this. This is going to give you the full month. Right. And then here, we need to tell Power BI to recognize this date column as our date table. Because currently we have 2 dates, one in our transaction table, right? So that it doesn't confuse the guy from doing the right thing. So we have a date table. Now we have our calendar now. This is our calendar table now. So now we need to create a connection between this calendar table and our transaction table. And then we have dates. This is dates. Create a connection between the 2 of them. Officially, this date table now begins to filter out this transaction table. So in your data modeling, you would have been exposed to the filtering direction. What this means is that this is the many. That means this date here appears many times. No, gender here appears many times. So here it is going to be one. At the other side, many. And then I put into that. I didn't do that because we have done it already. So technically now we don't need to use the date table that is in this sales transaction, right? That is in this sales transaction table. We have a date here. All our analysis now would now come in from this date table. Do we understand? It will now come in from here. So here now we can now bring in slicers to begin to slice our report down to different granularities that we want. So that we don't need that now. So I'm just trying to focus. Okay, so now we're talking about designing cards now. So how do you design cards? We have we already have 3 card components that we can use here, metrics that we can use for our card now. We can bring in the number of products analysis. We can bring in the total cost, right? And we can bring in the total revenue, right? Let us reshape all of this. So these are card visuals. These are card visuals. These are card visuals. And then these are card visuals as well, right? Although currently now we have advanced card visuals that Microsoft has introduced to us. So this is the card we're using. This is another card visual. This is a new card visual that we can use as well. I'll let us know how we can flesh out our report with that now. So this is our card visuals now, right? Basically, this is a metric on its own. This is a metric on its own, total cost, and this is the metric on its own, total revenue, right? We can come down here and then format it the way we want. We can just come down here and then choose. I usually like to use either Dean or Segway. Use Segway, make it down to 20, right? If you want to make it bold, you format it and make it bold. If you want to change the color, you change the color. The unit is auto, but I want it to be none, right? And I want this guy to, I need a comma separated. If you are following, or perhaps you can decide to leave it in thousands if you want it in thousands, or you want it in millions. You can also choose millions, right? Depending on what your stakeholders want, basically, right? So just add this formatting, and then add this to this basic formatting. So this one cannot be a million because of how small the value is. So you just leave it at none. Let it be total product. Let it just be like this. You can see the way I'm arranging my canvas. So just trying to make sure that it fits to an extent. So we have this. So basically for us now, we've worked on card visuals, right? And then let's touch on donut chart now. So what does these guys, what do they do for you? Can somebody give us a brief on how what pie chart, donut charts, and tree maps, what they do?
We can unmute our mic to respond.
Yes, please unmute
If you
your
are
mic.
talking, please unmute your mic. You can go on, Mr. Shi, if no one is talking.
Okay.
Let me give it a try.
Okay, go on. Go
So
on. Your name, please.
donut charts and pie charts usually give like parts to a whole, like
Exactly.
what percentages, of 100% different aspects occupy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That is just to sum it up, right? So the pie chart and the donut chart is just to show you parts to whole, right? Breaking it down to different parts and the percentage of that particular part to the whole part itself. While you have the tree map is just to visualize segments, right? Break it down into smaller segments, basically smaller squares for you to see. So the bigger the chunk of that segment or that smaller rectangle, the bigger the value or the value, yes, or the figure that it has. So now we might want to see, okay, looking at our total revenue now, we want to see how our revenue is dispersed along our categories, right? So if I bring in this guy here and then choose my pie chart, my donut chart, right? And then I want to see it across my categories, broad categories, right? This is what you have here. You can see that by looking at this, you can see that bikes now, we do more, most of our revenue is coming from the sales of bikes, right? And not the accessories or clothing, followed by accessories, and then clothing contributes the least to our revenue. And then a whopping 72.5% of that revenue is being generated from bikes. So at a glance, we can see what we have here, right? You can see that this is passing the message to whoever is going to be looking at this report itself like this. This can form part of the report, right? Just like we're already building, we already have a building block to our report generally. So we have this, And then what other visuals are we looking at again? We want to also look at tables now, right? We want to look at tables now. So now for tables now, we want to look at this is our revenue now. We have revenue, right? And then we want to look at along our revenue line, we want to look at, let me drop in a slicer now. Let me drop in a slicer. Yeah. What does the slicer do? The slicer slices, just like the name intends. So if I'm going to talk to a layman now, what does the slicer do? It just slices your reports into different parts based on the selection that you've made, right? Let me just choose this. So a lot of your work would spur you to thinking outside the box, and it is going to come as a result of spontaneity and curiosity. And you have to do a lot of thinking around, trying different stuff, different features, and then looking at the different properties that you have here, and then looking at how they work, right? So we have this is a drop down now, and then if I select 2020, 2012, you can see this is broken down. 2013, 2011, you can see that from 2011, we sold only bikes. All our revenue came in from bikes. 2012, all our revenues came in from bikes as well. 2013, we now had more spread. You can see that we now have more spread, right? So here that we have this category now, let us duplicate this guy here and use this table chart that just to look at how well we can also deep dive into analysis to break it down now. So this is table chart now. Currently, this is our current let me look at it. Let me go alongside subcategories. Now, let me do subcategories. Let me go back to visual. Let subcategories be up. Okay, this is our total revenue now. This total revenue in the table structure. Let me bring this guy here. I want this guy to be here. In the table structure, right? This is how it looks like in table structure. And then we want to look at these guys along different years now, right? So we have total revenue. You can drop here your total cost as well. You can look at the total products as well. So this is a table chart, right? This is a very simplified, let me use the word, a very simplified table chart, right? And then you can format this table chart now. This is the format properties here. You can change the font, your values. You can increase the font, right? You can increase the font. You can come to specific columns. These are for specific columns. You can come here and then look at the header, right? Change the text color of the header to this. The text color, or let's change it to red. And see, that's for this column, because here we choose this column, right? And then we can say for cell elements, we can come to cell elements here, and then choose background color for, I don't want subcategory now, I want now the total revenue. Total revenue. Choose the, can choose, turn this on. You can see what you have here. You can turn on the icons as well. And see, basically, we are already fleshing out this, and it's already looking quite beautiful already. And then we can do the same thing for total costs, right? Turn on these guys here, and then turn on icons as well. You can change the type of icon that you want. This is the type of icon that currently exists here. You can come down here and look at this icon and say, okay, right, this, and then the product line, you can come and say, products, we want the background, and then we want data bar, all right, or this. Depending on the kind of feel or look and feel you want to give your report, right? Just give it a very, very good look and feel. So I have this background color, or let me say the data bars. I can come here and edit the data bars and say more colors. I want it to be green, right? Positive bars, I want them to be green. Positive bar to be green, and I want, why is my positive bar not choosing green? Okay, sorry. I didn't move this in here. Or this, right? And then say okay. And see how this has been formatted. And you can say you want the less bar, so maybe any bar that is less than a particular value should be another color. So at that point in time, you'll have something that that we call you have to customize it using the measures to have that flexibility around your visuals. Now it's quite deeper than what we're working on now, but it is very it is not impossible. It is what we do every now and then. So you have column headers. You can make it bold. Text colors, you want it to be this, and then you want the background color to be this. Look at what we've done. So this is a table, right? So most times you would use table chart where you want to show variances. So you have actuals versus budgets, right? When you have something like actuals versus budgets, I want to know the variance, right, between your actuals and your budget, right? Revenue actuals, budget, revenue budget, cost actuals and cost budgets, right? That is where most times you use your table charts, right, or your table visual. So that is just that. So let's go back. We are looking at scatter plot, and then although we've looked at the different formatting options that we have, of course, as we're working on this, we're also working on the different formatting options that we have, right? Which is what we've been doing, formatting it based on the different visuals. Different visuals they'll have different format options that you can implement. If you look at this now, these are the formatting options here. These are the formatting options here for table visuals. But here you have different options, activated for this. If I select this, different options or properties would be activated for this. Same with this as well. Same with every visual that you have here. They have different visuals, formatting options that you can add. Now, as a rule of thumb, right? As a rule of thumb, before you start, most of us here would end up being data consultant for different businesses, and then we'll be working with different brands, and then different brands will have different. They would have different. They have their branding. Let me use the word branding, right? They have their brand color. They have their brand fonts as well. So, and they have their brand logos as well. So it is very, very important that you are very, very cognizant with how you want your reports to be, and then how you will build your report to suit the taste of the brand, right? So if you're working with brands like Exist a lot now, or let's say, what brand should we mention? What brand should we talk about?
MTN.
MTN. So MTN is yellow, right? Most of what we'll be doing for them, you have to build around their you have to include yellow to it, right? And if you are very, very conversant, if you've been following me closely, for every time we have to do with anything that has to do with color, right? So if I choose text color now, these are the different arrays of colors that we have, right? And we don't have the MTN yellow brand color, the original, the main color, no, the main MTN yellow. We don't have it here. All of this, we can come back to more colors and then choose the type of the MTN yellow that we want here. But it is always advisable that before you start your report, you have a theme, right? Because if you look at our reports here, taking for example this bike logo now, this guy that we have here now, you can see that our color here. We have different colors, and then the report is just looking net to a beginner. This report is fine, but if you've worked with different brands, you know that there's more to this color when it comes to uniformity of colors or arrays of colors that you can use for your reporting, right? So let me bring this down here. I want to expand this guy, so I need my real estate to be very big. So we have this now. These are just different variants of colors, right? It's always good for you to have a color scheme. And your color scheme can be built into your theme now. And the theme, when I say theme, that's your report theme. Your report theme, you will find it, you'll find your report theme under your, where is that report theme again? Yeah, under your view. This is our report theme here. So our report theme define the type of colors that we're going to have or we're going to be exposed to in our color palette, right? This is the theme that we're using. You can see that if I change this theme now, all of these colors will change. You can see. You can see that they've changed. So I come to these colors and you can see that all of this color palette has changed as well. Can you see? If I come down here and choose this guy, this will change as well. If I come down here and see this, you can see our color palette has changed, right? If we come down again and then choose this will change. You can see our color palette here as well. That's changed as well. So as a rule of thumb, it is always advisable that you customize or build your theme, right, afresh, and then you can import and export that theme to any report that you want, right? So for your text, for names and color, you can define the theme that you want. This is advanced, second level, but you can define the type of themes, colors that you want, right? You can define them. Let's say I want this guy here. We're talking about yellow now. You can choose this MTN yellow, right? Come here, define the colors that you want, define all of the colors that you want, right? All of them, just name it, move it around. I want this color as well. And then these are the sentiment colors: negative, positive, neutral. Fine, you can choose you can let your neutral be something like this nature, right? Just leave it that way. Divergent color and the rest like that. For your different pages, background, you can choose your wallpaper to be, we want our wallpaper to be yellow, right? We're bidding for MTN. Page background, you can choose it to be yellow as well. Or perhaps you can just come down here for this wallpaper that is done already. Just copy this X code, right? Come down to this page background, come here, clean it up, drop it here. And see, for your visuals, you have to choose for your visual background, right? You have to choose what you want. The color, I'm going to paste that here as well, please. But I want my visual background to be light yellow. I want it to be this light yellow, right? Fine. You can choose the border. border on. You can actually come down here and drop this guy here. So I want it to be very, very, very dark. Can see how we are creating headers now. Background color, border color, icon color. You can see I want our icon to be blue. We'll leave it that way. And see how do you want the background color to be like. You can choose red, The border color should be what? This. Just look at how all of this affects our reports, right? The filter pane. This is the filter pane. Okay, I don't have my filter out here. This is your filter here. How do you want it to look like? The background color of your filter. You can choose this, right? You can choose transparency. The font color, you want it to be like this. The title, make it bold. Checkbox this. Available filter card, choose this. Apply filter card. No, just click on apply. You can see how our report has come out to be. This is our filter that I worked on. This is it. I want this, You can edit all of these guys here as well. You understand? You can see what all of those editing that we do, all of those stuff that we added. You can see what they have added now. How they've made our report to look like. So let me go back and edit it again. I want to edit, customize it. Visual page, wallpaper. I want my wallpaper to be this. Okay. You can see. With this, you can see how it affects your reporting in general, right? And you can save the current theme. You can give it a name, MTN projection, right? Save it on the desktop. It's saved in a JSON file. It's saved in a JSON file. So let us look at how it looks like. This is a JSON file. Let us open it to text and then open with. Let's open with Notepad. You can see how it looks like. Okay. And see how it looks like. Right? Can see how it looks like now. So with the way it is right now, you can come back here now and choose this theme now. You can see I'm choosing this theme and everything has changed totally. You made a mistake. But however, that's not the theme you want to work with. You want to work with MTN theme. You can come to what? Browse. Browse for themes. Go to my desktop, my JSON file, open it to bring my theme to the report. You can see. I hope you are following me. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, we are together. Yes, we are following you, sir.
So you can see how this has helped shape how the look and feel of your report is generally. Talking about look and feel now, right? So before you start your project, you can sit down, look at your project requirements, do your requirement analysis, build all of this, how you want the text to be, your color scheme, and every of those things, and then just this, and then detect how your report is going to look like. All right. Let me choose this now. You understand? So that is just one of those, right? So now that we've done that, let us move forward now. Let's move forward now. So now we talk about customizing Power BI themes with unique color palette, right? And now we're going to talk about inserting elements like images, shapes, buttons, and create compelling versatile layout. That's just another heading. So now, most times you would work with brand logos. Somebody should mute, please.
Can you say that again?
I need you to mute. Somebody is on mute. Okay. So now that we have this now, there are instances when you would need to bring in visuals, logos into your report. So we have this insert options. These are ribbons, and then you can see this. You have this element here. This element here can bring them into your reporting. That will be text box, buttons, shapes, and images, right? So let us look at images now. Do I have any image here? Pictures. I doubt if I have any logos. Okay. I'll go to my downloads. I'll go to downloads. I'm going to bring this into. This is an image, right? This is an image element that you can use, right? Just brought in our image now. Let us say we're working for fabric, right? And then you can bring in shapes as well. Bring in shapes, different shapes. There are different elements to this. Let me just bring in this shape here. Let me say I want to have this shape. Just look at the building blocks of building reports. You can decide to have this shape here, right? And then you have other buttons. These are buttons now. Left button, and then let me format the left button style. Yeah, line color, white. You can see this. This is the back button, and then we have our logo somewhere. Let's just leave the logo here. It's like it's going to be. And then we have information. Information. You can drop this here. These are just building blocks of your report. Information, button style. I want the icon to be white. Right. So this information just supposed to give us information about something, right? Information about your report. So you can come down to action, toggle it on, and then my tooltip is all. What should we call it? Those are first report. Well, this is not the most intuitive tooltip you can put anyway. That's just a placeholder. You can see this is information. This information about this. Right. We can even decide to, when we are building our report, depending on how you build it, you can put in more buttons, more information button. There's so many elements that you can add to your report. So many elements. You can just put it at the top. Button style. Look at this. I want the width to be very, very light. One. This to be yellow. And this to be red. Right. This. Come down. I hope you're getting a feel of how this is going. all of this now, we're going to,
Yes, sir.
yes, we're going to bump them up to become a whole report, and then you see how sweet it is reading report. So you can say, total product count for the business, right? Let's do it that way. So when I come here and I have this, you can see what it's giving you. Information. This is the total product count for the business. So I can have something like this. So just building blocks. These are building blocks. Just look at how I'm working around them. Background color. This color value. I want it to be this color. Right. I want category label to what color? What color? I want it to be white as well. Can see this, right? Let me come to my view selection, and then this and this card and button. Okay. This card and this card, right? I can select and then group them together. So one cannot do without the other. Come here, you can still see. You can see? You can see what we're doing. And we can replicate it for all of the visuals that we have here. Are you with me? You can replicate it for all of the visuals that we have here. You can have for all of these card visuals. Now we can replicate it across all of them. You can say, select this now, go back home, format printer, and formatting. Okay, because I've grouped it already. It's not going to give me. Normally, if I select this now, format, it's supposed to add all of these features that I've added here to this, but because I've grouped it, I've.
Hello, Mr. Sheyi. There is an
Yes,
hand up.
Okay, please ask your question.
Mr. Sadiq, you have the floor. You can ask your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I would just want to request that the tempo is quite fast. That we just have to like go slow a bit so that we can get the beat of everything. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, bro, for drawing me back. You know what? Please feel free to draw me back, please. Right? If you think I'm going fast, if you need clarification, please draw me back. All right. So thanks for drawing my attention to that. You can see how all of these are working together. You can see how we are layering all of the compartments, right, together. So we have this already. We have this. This is coming. This is coming here. And then we have this. No, we have this. This is coming down here. We have this. And then we are already building something out of it already. So depending on how you work around it, but basically, you can see how we've been able to model up all of these different features and then come up with this. But I also would like to draw your attention to this. So before you work on visuals, right? Earlier on I mentioned that we have to sit down, have interactions or business meeting with your stakeholders, which in this at this point we refer to them as the business, right? Like the tech guys, we are building products, we are building data products for the business. Because I don't call these reports, I don't call them dashboard, I call them data products because it's also a product that we are selling to the business. So it's a data product on its own. It can be packaged and then distributed outside the organization, depending on how you want it and depending on how widely as acceptable your report is, you can build a product around it. One thing you do is that you sit down and have business requirement gathering with your stakeholders, and then before you start building all of these things that you see here, right? You have to sit down and then sketch. All of this that we've done now, we've come up with insights, not just insight now, we've come up with visualization that makes sense, but all of them are not sitting down well. Do you know that they are not sitting down well yet? They still look quite scattered, the way they are. Look at this, everything is there. You can see data, but then they are not giving us that vibe that we want. So most times, for me, not even most times, all the time, before I go ahead to build my visual, I usually have a sketch. I have a pen, I have a pad that I sit down and sketch out how I want my visual to be. And also we have a lot of tools online that we use, and then that helps us to refine our report, our sketches, that aids our sketching. And one of those tools is my PowerPoint, right? So you will permit me now to extend this guy here. New slide. I need a new blank slide. This is a blank slide like this, right? I need to create a template. Let me just do this very, very fast. I don't want to waste much time. I need to create a template. This my background. I want my background to be solid. I want it to be this. I need it to be lighter, right? And we now begin to bring in this visual element, like this. We begin to create visual elements that we will use, right? So the different visual elements that we use. I usually do this in we just do something very, very sketchy. Something very, very sketchy. We would have the field to be something deeper, right? Shape outline. I don't want any shape outline, no outline, right? And then we will now begin to bring in other elements. Let me bring in all of this element. Let me create this. This is going to be my header. I want this to be like this. No. Just look at what I'm doing. And then I need more. I need more elements. I need stats. I need this. This is the big band numbers, right? And we call this thing band for the okay. You have this. I hope you all know how to use PowerPoint. At least to an extent, you should know how to use PowerPoint too. Do we all know?
That's wireless is $600.
Yeah, well.
They call it a voice of.
Let's respond.
Please respond though. So let me align these guys. Let me align them.
Let's respond. There is no harm in saying no.
Yeah,
It's either you know or you don't
I
know.
can use PowerPoint.
There's no harm in saying no. There's a lot of information going around. So we don't know everything. At times it is when we want to start using that tool, or we have a need to use a tool, that we start to learn it. It's not, you're not the only one. It is everybody. So nobody is an island. Some of these things too, we still learn them. So let me align this. Align, distribute horizontally, move it up. Let me align this as well. Align vertically. my line. Have a few. So what do I want to have in this? I want to have revenue, costs, profits, total product, and maybe one other metrics. And then we can now say, okay, we want let me change the shape. Change the shape to this. This. Let's change shape to this. You can come down here, text field. You want this to be this. I don't want any outline. You can see the building blocks for what we're doing. So you can say you want this to be, let's use some of the colors that we have here. And then we have this. And then we have this. And then we have this. Right, and then this and this, we can make a color shift. Just want it to be white blank. Right, and then you now save this. Save as. Wow. I have SVG here. So I usually like to use scalable vector graphics format when I work. I don't use PNG or JPEG. And the reason why I do that is because at times it is very when you expand an SVG format, it maintains that feel. When you stretch a picture, are you with me? When you stretch a picture,
yes, we are here.
When you stretch a picture, it loses that format, or it loses that feel.
Yellow tartan jacket from the 1980s.
Yeah, that's the ratio aspect.
And the ratio aspect.
Let us mute ourselves. There is an interference, please. We are not talking. Kindly mute your mic. Thank you.
So it's Let's see what we have here. So let me remove this. I don't need this now. I don't need this now. Don't need this. So you can see what we have right now, right? So what we have done here now, basically, is to create a structure that we want our reports to be like. So what we now have here now is that we can now begin to drop all of these guys here. Let me drop this guy here. I'll drop this guy here too. We can do other ones later. Format this bed. Can bring this guy here. Format this guy. Look at how we format this now. Legend. I want my legend to be on, but I want it to be bottom center. Right? I want this to be here. That's my legend, right? I don't want the title. I'm dropping the title. I'll stretch it a bit. Let's this a bit. The title. Product. And drop the font. Product. Can give it much more intuitive to legend is fine. A slice, how do we want our slice to be? Spacing. More space here. More space here. Right. How do we want the details to be like? Do we want data value and percentage of total, or do we just want percentage of total? Let's say percentage of total is fine for us. Let's say we have this, like this. We can, all of this is out of the box, right? Let's see how this is building up. Then you stretch, no. Just let me not overstretch. We have this. Stretch. I don't need this. No, I don't need this. So for this, we'll come back here now, and then for properties, visual size, I don't want the background because I already have a background. Do I want border? I don't want border as well. The border show you. This is it. Then you change the format to this. This as well. So just one of the most intuitive ways we can draw out the plot and build a visual. So here we have all of this now. I just drop our logo here. Our logo is still going to be here, right? Let me leave our logo there. And here we can have our slicers. So what do we call our slicers now? Slicers helps us to slice or dice our report to choosing let's say timeline that is prominent to our reporting. So here now, all what we've been doing here now is related to only 2026, right? If it changes to 2015, we have this. If it changes to 2014, we have this. 2013, you can see the effect of our slicer, right? Now let us add more slicers. See, okay, as fast as possible. Add more slicers, and then I think this 3 is enough. This 3 is enough for us, and then we want the year, right? We can also slice by what again? We want the month, right? One short month. Here we want what else? We want, let's say by country now. Let's say we want by country. Because country will be something we want to have one country. And then this is still not looking very, very fine. We can come down here and then format these guys here. We could even have date ranges, right? We could have different date range, you know. Take it for example, when you want to work on relative dates, come down here, choose date table, and then you have date. You drop your date here. Your date is given in this date, but then you can go and format it, and then come down here and choose slicer. You want it to be between. Expand it. Right, so you have date ranges, right? From maybe January 11 to when? To May, right? So you can choose any of those here. So I think I'll just drop the year and I'll drop the year and use the range only.
Hello, Mr. Shi.
Yes, I'm with you.
By my time, it is 3:50.
Yes, I can look at, I can see it as well.
So I don't know if anyone has question because we don't want to exit 4 p.m.
Fine, yeah.
Please, I hope we're having a nice time. Please, if you have any question,
ask your questions or ask questions.
This is question time. If you know you have any question or you need to make any clarification, this is the time.
This is the time to ask. Just ask your time. Ask values. I want my values to be white.
Or okay, it's like they're enjoying your time, so they want you to finish everything with the time, so you can go on. But when it is 4, that question will not come in again, because we will not exit 4, because I know a whole lot of us have some other meeting to attend to.
Yes.
So this is meeting time. This is meeting time. This is a question time rather.
Ask questions, though. You can see how the elements are coming together, right? Are you with me? You can see how these elements are coming together and how they are beginning to form a report for you. Look at this, remove this. Value should be white. How you work on all of this. The slicer header to be white, depending on the color schemes that you want, So we want the slicer background. So be what color? Let's make it maybe this color. No, not this. Clear. Set. White. Is the header, right? The values background. We want it to be blue. You can see how I'm tinkering around all of this. Just look for something. So we have this, right? You can format this and paste this, So you have all of this right now, okay? Sorry. Where's my short one? What by month number? So are you with me? Are we still together?
Yes, so
yes.
Okay. So we're running out by 4. So ask your question. So you can see the interactivity. You have Australia. You can see the way it filters all of the report. It is filtering all of the report now. But then there's still a lot of work that can be done. You can now fill this up with this, and then if there are additional measures or additional metrics, you can add it to them. But by the time you begin to talk about revenue last year, revenue last month, time intelligence like stuff, and then additional measures here, you can say can even add just name it. our time is fast spent already. This, I'm removing the background, you know. Can remove the background, can remove the background. Can remove the background for this. All right. And then choose your color scheme. Our color scheme can then be any color that we want. We're going to do our color scheme. Let's choose something. Something different. Color scheme. No. I always advise you choose monotone colors. No. So that's another discussion for another day anyway. Monotone colors, and then tinker around all of these reports, you know, play around it. I think we've selected something here. Just play around what we have here and we'll be fine. Okay. And last thing I want to touch here is interactivity, right? I want to talk about interactivity. You can see that immediately we change this country now. Report interactivity. Immediately we selected country France, right? It's filtered our reports, right? To just France, figures from France only. Germany. Filtered it to Germany, United Kingdom, United States as well. Then I need this to be wild. One thing that we didn't talk about is that interactivity. You can see that immediately we're selecting all of this. This filter that we have here, this visual that we have here, right? This visual that we have here is country related. Let me clear this now. Let me clear the selection. Consider it is country related. Right? And let me do it by gender. Okay? Let's just have some variance there. Here, you can see that it is country related, right? Means that every time that we use this visual, this filter here, I mean this slicer, it will filter out this guy here and show only the selected country. And at times when you might not need your visuals to be like that or your reports to be like that, what do you do in that instance? This is when you now come to begin to optimize that your report. You have view, you have no, it's under modeling. Or where is that this thing again, sir? Let me select this. Select this. Format, edit interactions. You can see all of the things that we have here. So because you're selecting this now, you can see you have filter. You have this filter like logo, and you have this other guy beside it. So for the fact that it is highlighting that filter part, it means that this guy, which is your dimension, country dimension, is going to filter it. But if you unselect by selecting this, right, it will filter it when I select. So let me have this and this, to select this. Let us stop the interaction now. So let us try and choose Australia now. You can see that it is filtering every other report, every other visuals that we have on this report, right? But it is not filtering this one here and this one here, which also means that what we have there is only going to be static, right? But if I filter with this, right, with every other dimension, it is going to filter it. But this country will not filter this. So there are times when you have to build your visual, your interaction in such a way that for this now, I don't want you to filter this. I want to always have this on my report. So I'll leave it this way. I want to filter this. And then that is it. That is that. And let's say I have any other slicer here. I can also format that slicer to interact with my report the way I want it, such that it will, at every point in time, give me that feel that I want for my report. Are we clear?
Yes, we are.
So I hope I've been able to, in these 2 hours, not choke you.
You have even done more than the justice.
Not over choke you, but been able to at least touch on enough part of reporting that that could spoil you or guide you to start doing big stuff with Power BI. So
thank you, Mr. Shi.
Questions? Who has questions?
Thank you.
Time is fast spent already. You can drop your questions in the group anyway.
This is 4 p.m. We might be taking. We need to take the class home now. This is exactly 4 p.m. And I'm sure a whole lot of us, because at the point we're about 31, 32 on this call, so some people have dropped off. I'm so sure maybe 1 or 2 people has 1 or 2 meetings they need to attend. So somebody drop in the chat room that please I am how do I get the recording? So you get the recording. So but if you are not on our platform, we have a platform. The platform organizing these series is Niger Data Platform, and what we do in that community is that we teach Microsoft tools, we impact, and as we know that Microsoft Fabric is a new tool, that's why we are bringing it to you guys, so that that is the future, so that you too can move with the train, so that you won't be left behind. So if you know that you are not on our group and you want to join us, so that you can keep up with information as event unfold, my name is Rashid, and my number is in the chat room. So you can private chat me, so that I can add you to the group, so that you can equally, get apprised of everything that is unfolding. So we just looked at data visualization and reporting today, and next week we shall all be looking at Microsoft Power BI service rather, on Microsoft Fabric, and our speaker will be one of our leaders in the group also, Mr. Olajide Dowu. So please come to class on time, and this recording will be available the next 2-3 hours. We'll drop it on the group. So don't forget to chat me. Don't forget to engage. If you have any question, drop it on the group. We forward it to the speaker. Thank you so much for your time, and let us all have an amazing time. Thank you so much, Mr. Sheyi Akinjimi. We really treasure your time.
Thank
we really
you,
love
Mr. Sheyi.
data visualization a lot. So everybody, I need you to on your camera, and our speakers want to see your beautiful faces, for our archive, want to see our faces. So everybody, please on your camera,
Mr.
please.
Sheyi, thank you.
On your camera, everyone, on your camera. Let's see your beautiful faces. You can share your screen, sir, Mr. Sheyi. You can share your screen.
Just a very quick one. Let me just add to it a very quick one, just before we go. A very quick one, right? So now, because this is in relation to Microsoft Fabric, right? Please mute.
Yes.
Mute, please. I can hear some background noise.
If I'm not talking, let's try and mute our mic, please. Okay, go on.
So I just quickly published the report to Power BI service, which is the Fabric space, and then you can see this is where it is. You can see you have Power BI here, right? You can edit the reports. This is what we have in Power BI service basically. This is the Fabric workspace. You can edit your report. You can see all what we did there on Power BI desktop. You can see them here as well. You can see them, all the metrics that we created, the tables, visuals, and almost every other thing that you have there. You can edit them here as well. Do you understand? So this is the Fabric part of it. So instead of you doing this on Power BI desktop now, you can equally have all of this done end-to-end in Microsoft Fabric. All right.
Thank you so much, sir. Can you unshare your screen, because I'm still seeing your screen, so it didn't allow all those pictures to, because I need to snap this picture.
Okay.
I need to please
So
unshare your screen so
I
that I
hope
can see the pictures.
I hope I'm also.
Let's on our camera, please. I can't see anybody's face too. I'm only seeing myself. Please, guys, let's on our camera. Hello. Hello, everyone.
I can see Mr.
I can
Thompson.
see you. I can see a lot of people here.
I can see Mr. Victor
Why am I
Bassett.
seeing? Okay, I think it's better now. So please, let's hold on. This will just take some seconds. Okay.